I am the Lonely Necron, and welcome to my basement. So I recently passed a 40k milestone. I passed 8,000 points of Necrons. So I'm gonna show those off today because I really like my Necrons, and yeah, they're definitely my favorite faction, and I certainly have a lot of them. So I assembled them up on my table according to battlefield role, and I guess we'll just hop in and take a look at them. So I have two groups of 17 of these 8th edition Necron warriors with the God's Flayers, and I really did not like these guys at all. Putting their arms on, the non-gun arm was just a pain. I stopped at 34 and said no more for me. And then the 9th edition warriors came out, and these things were so much easier to assemble. They're just a joy to paint, and they just look deadly and menacing. I got two groups of 20 Necron warriors with the God's Reaper, much better gun. And then for the rest of my troops, I have 34 mortals, all with Tesla carbines. And for the most part, army-wide, if it can take Tesla, it did. I have two groups of 10, a group of 9, and a group of 5 immortals. Eventually, I'd like to have 100, which means I need to get 66 more. I'm working on it. Let's look at my fast attack. I have a whole bunch of the old scarabs and the new scarabs. I kind of miss the old scarabs. They were kind of, I don't know, easier to pose or whatever, but the new ones are pretty cool too. I got 2 units of 9, a unit of 8, and a unit of 3. Then I have 10 Praetorians with particle casters and void blades. These guys are a lot of fun. They tend to mess things up. 4 Tomb Blades with the Tesla carbines and nebula scopes and shield veins, which gives them a 3-up save, and things they shoot at do not get the benefit of cover. These things are awesome. I really do like the Necron bikes. And then 2 groups of 4 Canoptic Wraiths with particle casters and vicious claws. These guys have served me well over the last couple of years. They've lasted a lot of games. Their invulnerable save has really, really done a lot. And the guy I used to play with at the Warhammer store near me, yeah, I don't think he liked these guys very much. For elites, I have a lot of elites. I have all 4 of the Catan shards. I have the Nightbringer, the Void Dragon, the Transcendent, and the Deceiver. I do love my Catan shards. In my battle reports, you'll see me use the Void Dragon, the Transcendent, and the Deceiver the most. The Deceiver is my favorite. I have a Stalker with a Heat Ray. At some point early on, I had this love of the Thousand Suns Blue. So some few remnants of my army still have Thousand Suns Blue on them, but for the most part, it's all Caliban Green. I have 3 Hexmark Destroyers. Just experimenting with different colors on those. Canoptic Spider. 6 of these newer Scorpec Destroyers. Plasma sights for them. These things kick ass. These things just wreck stuff. I have a 20-man unit of Flayed Ones. These are converted Necron warriors. At the time, I just didn't have the money to spend on Flayed Ones, and they were only 5 in a pack, I think. Most of the claw ones are just the backs of Praetorians cut in half, and everything else is just little bits here and there with lots of blood for the blood god spattered on. And then the last of my elites are these Lich Guard. A long time ago, I had 10 Lich Guard with War Size and 10 Lich Guard with Sword and Board. 5 blue and 5 green each, but the ravages of time and transportation of going to the games and stuff has left me with just these 8. So the original 5 green are right there, and then I have 3 of the original blue ones, but none of the Warside ones lived. And really, I wasn't really fond of the Warside ones, because the sword and board guys, they've got that shield that gives them the better save. Better saves are what help Necrons in the end. For flyers, I have a Night Scythe and a Doom Scythe. Yeah. Let's see, I have a one Lord of War, an old Monolith. I'd like to get the new Monolith just because they do look pretty dope. Heavy support, I have a Doomstalker, two Annihilation Barges, and this Annihilation Barge is the only unit in the army that had the option of Tesla but didn't take it. It was my first Annihilation Barge, and I didn't really know much about the game, so I was just like, oh, well, it's already got a Tesla, maybe I'll give it something else. This one has a Tesla cannon. Three heavy destroyers, two with the Gauss Destructor, and one with the Enmitic Exterminator. I gotta say, I really do like these guys. They really do mess things up. Two Doomsday Arcs. These things really mess things up too. I do indeed have a Convergence of Dominion. And then for HQs, named characters, I have Illuminar Seras and Oracan the Diviner. The first ever Overlord I ever painted, and it was a long time ago. I have two of the new Overlords, two other Overlords, Surviving Blue Overlord, two Green Lords, and three Cryptex, one of the old blue Cryptex. So yeah, there's 8,000 points of Necrons, 8,200 I think maybe. I have the Silent King and another Heavy Destroyer and another Royal Warden up on my crafting table right now, in the process of painting, and then another Doomstalker and 5 more Immortals, I think, still in the box, so the pile of shame isn't that big. I just gotta get working on it. I'd really like to play an Apocalypse game against somebody, so if anybody is watching this and lives in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I'd like to play an Apocalypse game. Well, that's pretty much all I had for this particular video. You guys all have a good day. Thanks for watching.